because last night's Raw truly was the most car wreck of car wrecks. So I said this last night, and you guys will hear it later on tonight. But I told Swisher that the Powerbomb Jitsu guys got me. Because, Orton came out with the knee injury and all that, and I haven't watched Raw in months. Or SmackDown I've watched maybe 7-8 weeks ago was the last time I watched it. So I'm very disconnected from the WWE product. I don't even think I watched most of the last pay-per-view. Or any of the last pay-per-view, truthfully. So, like, a lot of this, I have no idea what the fuck's going on. I've been so engrossed with MLW and Impact and New Japan that I don't need to watch shitty wrestling anymore. Like, I don't need to be that guy. So I was watching Twitter, as one does, and they're like, AJ Styles versus Edge at WrestleMania. So I'm like, all right, Jitsu, let's see what you all are talking about in it now. It was just Orton doing his injury angle. And I'm going to tell you what, like, if you bid it, that's fine. But I knew going into that it was a work of works. But I applaud them for at least trying something different. It's not an easy thing to do, and they set this angle up at a house show, for Christ's sake. So, like, credit where credit's due. You tried. But ever since Mark Henry, I don't believe, and truth be told, I didn't believe Mark Henry's either. I thought it was telegraphed. John Cena walks out in the middle of a retirement speech, like, with music. What? No, this isn't a retirement speech. So, yeah, I wasn't buying it last night, and that Edge quote, the Edge tweet, that the Powerbomb Jitsu guys threw out there was all for nothing. So, fuck you guys. I love you, but fuck you. But anyway, to the main event, Lana had her wedding. Giant cake came out. Everyone's like, Rusev's in the cake. Rusev was in the cake. Then we see Liv Morgan come out, and she's like, I can't believe you're doing this to me. I'm in love with you. I've been in love with you. And Lashley's like, I never touched her. And Liv's like, the love of my life's in that ring, but it's not Lashley, it's Lana. And then Lana whooped the shit out of her after doing the ugliest of ugly cry faces I've ever seen. Marcus, we've either reached peak Attitude Era or we've reached peak stupid. But people I've interviewed on the street will tell you that there is no difference between the two.
Yes. On the street, you're known as Chad You Betcha. Oh.
It's actually just Chad Shabetcha.
Oh, damn it. I just that's what this segment needed. Freaking Styles. No.
Styles?
The
Coming out.
Saying, it's love. Community.
Styles is in the front row. Gay community. He starts grabbing his chest. I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Exactly. That's what could have got this segment over for me. Because he has so many places to sit in the audience. But yeah, this was they were already at a high level of suck, and they found some way to do a hold my beer segment.
Dude, this is a hold my keg segment. So obviously, the only lesbian on the roster, Sonya Deville, had thoughts. I think her initial response was, my mind is blown, and then something to the effect like, because what's the other blonde chick's name? Not
Mandy Rose.
Mandy Rose. She said something like all right, or something like that, like kind of like, really? And Sonya Deville replied with, right on, sister, or something to that effect. So clearly this is not sitting well for everyone.
Right on. It's funny because shout out to Thorius who tweeted, for all the people who, bitching about the whole, the gay storyline not involving Sonya. I was like, y'all do realize she dodged the bullet, right?
Yeah.
Like, you wanted to be involved in this?
Yeah. This is not what thoughts, no. I'm not really sure what the point of this is, other than to just be salacious. And if you're doing things to just be salacious, I don't feel like you're in the right avenue. Truthfully, all right. I'm pulling up the quote. So DeVille said, "Welp, my mind is blown." Rose tweeted out, "No words," as in quote, quote, "no words." To which DeVille replied, "I know, my friend. I know." It's like she's being all Jedi. "I know, my friend." And it's like in a moment, 5 million lesbians cried out at once.
And then you just get that shot of that shot in Rogue One where the planet blows out and you don't hear anything.
It's that silence that everyone just wants so much. So I don't even know where to begin with this because it's such a cluster. On one hand, to be titillating is a good idea because it's going to keep people engrossed. But let's be honest, this is the WWE. They're going to find a way to fuck this up. This is not going to be a smooth landing. And one of two things is going to come out of this. Either one, they're going to try to make this seem like it was all like a ploy by Liv Morgan in the first place and that she's not really in love with Lana because they're going to get a lot of heat from this from people. And I don't blame anyone who wants to have some heat with this. Like, this is not exactly the best idea that has ever been uttered backstage. It's not the worst. I mean, Vince did call Booker T the N-word to his face on TV. So, you know, high bar, or low bar, I should say. But on the other hand, the other way that this could go is that they do some kind of thing where Liv Morgan, they're the same person to me. I'm white and I can't tell these two apart. Where Liv ends up being kind of outed as like a stalker of Lana's, and Lana was never in love with her, and she's being portrayed as like this crazy lesbian who can't get past her feelings. Now listen, lesbians just like straight dudes or straight chicks can be susceptible to being crazy bitches. Like they don't get a pass, you know. It's entirely possible. But considering you've only ever had one other gay angle, and that angle involved a crazy lesbian, maybe don't go to that well again. I'm just throwing that one out there.
Wait a minute. Are they going to use this as a backdoor way to get Mickey back into the thing?
I mean, if she re-debuts in that halter top and fucking skirt, mission accomplished. Great storyline.
She comes back there, my lesbian apprentice.
Instead of the Sith, it's the Lick.
The Lick?
There can only be two in the Lick. A master and an apprentice.
The scissoring force is strong with you.
Well, this force is strong in this one. We can corrupt you, turn you to the power of the dark side.
Oh, look, I mean, Liv had the blue lightsaber tongue and everything.
Does it vibrate too?
I just want to let you know, for people who may be offended by this, we just came up with several better ways this could have went.
Oh yeah, this is all much better. Having Liv Morgan come down as Palpatine, like that, that would have been so much better. But the problem isn't so much that, you know, don't be offended that we're making light that they're doing a lesbian storyline. Be offended that they're doing a lesbian storyline, and not because they're doing a lesbian storyline, but because they're going to do it in a way where someone looks unforgivably terrible. And that's the problem. Somewhere along the way, this storyline is going to fall the fuck apart. I said it was 4 months ago when it started. Here we are. But I don't really know if there is a landing point for this. Like I don't know how you land this dismount. They're gonna keep doing this one, Marcus, until they run out of swerves.
I mean, it's this is their way.
You
know, this is all they know how to do.
You know, at WrestleMania, it's going to be Liv Morgan and Rusev versus Lashley and Lana, right? Like
You think they're gonna? You think they're gonna wait that long?
Marcus, I thought it was going to be over in November. We're in January, buddy. I have given up hope.
Now I wonder what the Canellises are at home thinking. Besides, like, can you bring me more classifieds? But
I don't think they need to put classifieds down for the new baby. Because they potty train it like a dog. That's the joke. Shut up.
This marathon is kicking off with a bang. I love it.
Oh, look. We're already getting hate mail.
Exactly.
I can't see it. I can't see it, but I can feel it. Yes. Let the darkness flow through you.
Yes. As the black guy in this Star Wars Nerdcore movie, I too can feel it. Christ alive.
Luckily, Marcus has plot armor, so he's not going to be the first one to die.
Oh, run around the neighborhood. Chad! Chad! Got to scream all the white guys' name in the movie. White people's name in the movie.
Right! Right! I'm right here. What? Oh, nothing. Just hi.
I can stop a ship midair, so I don't need you.
I can shoot lightning from my fingers. What are you doing?
Oh my god! But yeah, I mean, again, you of course displayed great foresight in saying that this. I mean, clearly this. I mean, they can't do straight storylines good. You think they was gonna be able to do something with the gay storyline? Like, come on! Like this started off as. I mean, this is them finding new people to replace a shitty cuck angle they started with a whole nother couple.
Yep. I would love to see Pornhub's stats from last night for the keyword search of lesbians cuck BBC. Because you know what happened. You know Pornhub had a spike in that one specific genre. And someone is watching the analytics going, wait, what? Why is this happening? Turns on Raw.
I mean, and of course it's off the rails. I mean, you got Lana who can't wrestle, who is having to do this because she can't wrestle. Who was exceptionally annoying. It was great to look at, but once that fades, everything else down the drain. You got Lashley, who was basically coming off like a big black buff oaf. That too. He literally came off TV like he did not know how to read last night, which is horrible. Not just for his gimmick, but for his ethnicity. So, he looks like an idiot. She looks like she has a dark chocolate fetish. Rusev is not looking any good at all. Rusev Day is all but dead. Then you throw this poor Liv Morgan girl in this, who I don't even know if this is the direction they initially started on for her return gimmick. Like, I guess she's better than Mojo because at least they brought her back on TV.
Oh, Mojo still works there, doesn't he?
Yeah, apparently so. Them and didn't we call it don't the Colons, don't they still work there? The Colons.
Yeah, but they requested their release. We'll see what happens with them.
Yeah,
so
I'm just glad it's Lashley and not Titus O'Neil.
That man's been through enough. So when I see a big jacked up dude who looks like he's on steroids, naturally I think he can't read. So I look at Brock Lesnar and I go, if you can read a menu, I'm surprised. So the idea that Lashley specifically could not read, I 100% believe. But you bring up his race and his ethnicity and his skin tone, I'm like, yeah, you don't want to portray that. Like the people have got enough issues with being kind of singled out in certain areas, and that doesn't need to be one. So either Lashley can't read in real life, which he was an army sergeant, that's worrisome. That is quite worrisome. Or they had him do that on purpose, in which case, racist? I mean, like half the shit they do is raises. Like, so I'm just like raises. I don't know, default. As far as the rest of it, Lana looked so ugly when she cried. Oh my god. Like her face got like, I don't know if it was because she was like really hot in that dress and it caused her face to kind of like swell up a little bit as one does when you're sweating and overly heated. But when she started to cry, I'm like, ugh, catcher's mitt. What is happening here?
And what the freak was on her face? Was that like bad bronzer that was off of him, or like what was on her face?
Yeah, I noticed that too. It
Like
it,
what the?
it killed all of her facial lines and it made her look kind of weird.
I mean, she was already hell annoying and just she was almost damn near like she was trying to get off into Vicky level territory. Obviously, that's a bar that can't really be duplicated. But between that and like, oh, I'm like, what the freak is on your face? And like the only good thing about the segment was the preacher, and that's ironically, sadly enough, the historical um gems that come with these WWE weddings. Because I remember my favorite one got to be the one who and I think was it Slick who did the wedding for Brian and AJ.
I think it was, yeah.
God, that was hilarious. But God, this was bad. Like this is a new level. And I'm sitting up here like, didn't she come from the world of acting?
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
So remember when Billy and Chuck got their wedding, and they had that little old pastor, and it ended up being Eric Bischoff. Tore off all the fake makeup, and then 3 minute warning came down. What if you had done something like that here, where like in the middle of like the ceremony and all that, all of a sudden the pastor kind of like super kicks Lashley, tears off the face paint, and it's Adam Cole. And then, like, the NXT guys hit the ring. Like, that would have been awesome. I don't like NXT, and I think Adam Cole has as much charisma as a dying tuna fish. But it would have at least been, like, complete fucking swerve. You spend 4 months to build up a full-on invasion? Like, that would have been cool. But, of course, they didn't do that. Or, like, you know, they take... It's like this small little 110-pound slender white woman. She tears off all the face paint. It's Falaba.
No.
He just starts kicking people. But like, you had the opportunity to do something truly interesting, and instead you kind of went the cringe route, which is what we all expected you to do. Sure, I don't think a lot of people had money on Liv Morgan coming out as gay on TV, but the idea of it being cringeworthy, I think we were all tuned in on. So, you know, at least they're sticking with their base. I guess that's a good thing. I will say this, Liv Morgan is gorgeous, so like I don't mind thinking about her and Lana. I'm just saying, like, y'all don't need to be doing that shit on television on a product that is overly convoluted and contrived in its delivery of relationships and the general in-ring action.
One of the other cringe things they did this year was actually put two of their superstars together who's a real life couple, and that didn't even come off good.
I would not be surprised if Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch have already ended their engagement. I wouldn't even be like, they had such little chemistry on TV. How the hell are they going to get along backstage? Honest to God, Marcus. Honest to God, I'm not 100% certain that they're not faking it. And I know a lot of people are like, well, all right, so Randy Orton faked a knee injury at a house show just to set up a TV angle. John Cena proposed to Nikki Bella at WrestleMania. You can argue because he wanted to. I'm going to argue because he was told to. But either way, it was an engagement that I called the night of that it wasn't going to last. And it didn't. I'm doing it again. I'm calling that Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch will not get married. And if they do, fair. I'm allowed to be wrong. But I think if it fails, you're going to have to start asking how much of what we're seeing behind the camera, so to speak, is being properly given to us. Because there's this idea. There's this code of ethics, if you will, that fans believe anything that's taken on from behind the camera on like YouTube or Twitter or whatever is authentic. But they have a reality TV show with writers called Total Divas, where they set up the divas in situations for them to have fake moments with one another. So are you really going to tell me that Vince McMahon or Triple H or Stephanie McMahon, who I think was more like the culprit, isn't telling her wrestlers how to behave off camera? I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if so much of what we see, on Twitter and Instagram videos and all that is just as fake as the wrestling on screen. So Seth and Becky may not even be really dating. I mean, they might be. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not in their bedroom staring at them from the closet. That ain't how I get my kicks. I'm an under the bed kind of creep. But I trust this company so little that I could be dying of a venomous overdose and Stephanie could have the exact cure I need, and I would be like, how do I know this isn't water? As if there's a reason why I wouldn't at least take the chance. Yeah, but I just don't believe them.
You're 100% right. At best, it's at worst it's water. At best, it's a Z-Pack. So it's fine.
I don't have a staph infection. Just shut up and take the Z-Pack. It'll cure you. No, it won't. Phil, they're trying to give me a Z-Pack. Oh God. So yeah, this is a calamity, and there's a part of me that wants to hate watch what happens next. But I know that whatever tantalizing tidbits this terrible, I can't think of, tiny, tumultuous tick of a segment, 60s in a row, that this segment ended up becoming, I know that the next ones won't be nearly as bad, and that kind of kills my desire to continue watching, because if you get worse somehow, if Liv comes out and she reveals she's 2 months pregnant with Lana's baby, I will watch. Because now it's just all right. How? And I want to know. They're not going to give it to me. They're not going to go absurd. But if they went absurd, Marcus, I'd be watching. Believe you me, I'd be watching.
I don't know.
This is bad.
I'm watching this little gif of freaking Liv walking down these steps in their socks after this cake debacle with Rusev in tow, and I feel like Vince is getting off.
Oh, you
getting
know
off of this. He's getting off. This is why, because we know the buck stops with him. I wouldn't be surprised if it does get stupid, and it does come off with something like this. And it was even sad is all three of these individuals know how ass this storyline is, but they're probably just so happy to be Liv's probably just happy to be back on TV. Rusev and Lana just probably happy to be consistently on TV. That they'll just go along with whatever. And lastly, whatever, he's just there. He's the black prop.
Lastly, just stands in the ring and sings the lyrics to "I Saw the Sign" by Ace of Base in his head. I saw the sign and I opened up my... Hey, Lashley, what do you think about fighting Rusev? No one can lift me up. Oh, yeah, I'm totally going to kick his butt. Do you belong?
I want you to make that edit. And Lashley just standing, I saw the sign with that big goofy ass smile he does. Oh, my God.